And for Off the Block, I'm Vinny Lipson. We are now joined by the head coach of the EIVA champions, Mark Pavlik, as his Penn State team. They won the EIVA championship last night and are now the number 5 seed for the NCAA tournament, playing Hawaii in the playing match. And Coach, what's your thoughts about the bracket and your road to possibly winning your 3rd national championship in program history?
Well, I just think the bracket is a continuation of what the 6 were like last year. I think it's balanced. I think it's going to be a great week of celebration for NCAA men's volleyball. We've got 6 very good teams. I think you're going to see some very good volleyball this weekend. And, I think all looking at is trying to get through the Warriors on Tuesday, and that's going to be a big enough challenge with it as is.
Yeah. And you guys played them earlier in the season, almost beat them on their home court. How different is your team, though, from when you last met in January as opposed to where they are now?
I appreciate you saying we almost beat them, but they beat us in 3.
Oh, sorry.
And it was, I don't think games 2 and 3 were close. I think we were deuced in first game, and then 2 and 3 they had their way with us. So I think both teams have changed. The season is nothing more than an evolution of a group of guys through it. No team ends up being the same as they started. I think we're trying to figure out where we're at right now and the strengths and the weaknesses that we have and how we played out over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And I think Hawaii has had an outstanding season. Charlie Wade and his staff certainly deserve a hand for everything they've been able to accomplish with their group, and I'm just anxious to play them. I think the history of Penn State Hawaii has always been a very good one and a very competitive one, and I don't see any difference in that this year either.
Yeah. And you look at your 2 teams' NCAA tournament history. Obviously, you have players who have experienced this before. A majority of your team, with the exception of some freshmen. And, for Hawaii, this is a new experience for them. How much do you think that NCAA tournament experience could benefit your team on Tuesday?
Well, I really think that it just boils down to understanding that the NCAA tournament, there's little or no flexibility in the week that you enter into. I think one of the strengths of men's volleyball is, as far as the coaches who are in it and the guys that are in it, that if we need to change something, you can tweak it. But when the NCAA gets involved for everything that they have to do with the championship, things are pretty rigid, and you've got to follow a script that is essentially beyond your control. And I think the biggest thing for us is our guys know that. They've lived it, and it's when things don't go the way that we normally would have had them gone in the regular season with logistics or other concerns, it's a big shrug of the shoulders, and I don't think our guys lose sight of what they're there for. I think some of the inexperienced teams tend to wonder why things aren't the way they normally are during the regular season. Maybe you can get caught up in that, but Charlie's going to have his team ready.
Yeah, and you've had an opportunity to see all the teams in the NCAA tournament field, with the exception of Pfeiffer, the Conference Carolina champion. When the bracket was unveiled, was there anything that surprised you about any of the seedings or any of the matchups, or anything that caught your eye, besides obviously where your team was?
No, not particularly. I think you throw those 6 teams in the mix and give them to 3 different people, and you can have different seedings come out. The committee, in my opinion, the men's volleyball committee, the NCAA committee, has done such a world of good for our sport in the last 10, 12 years. And, I know they take it very seriously, and they have some great discussion, and they feel that the decisions that they make are done wisely, and I don't argue with them. Like I said, I don't have, especially now that the playing game is here, less than 96 hours from when we play Nates, and I don't have the time to worry about why this was here, who seeded that there. Like you said, I worry about where we're at. we have in front of us, and that's the time to. All the time we have between now and when we play them is our energies are directed toward that.
Well, Coach, one final question before we let you go. What's going to be the one big thing that you guys are going to have to do well this upcoming week to win a national championship?
Pass and serve, Vinny. We got to pass and serve.